Okay guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Obviously today's a little bit different. No branded lore deck today. If you guys have been here from the beginning, it's a Gren Maju deck, and you know this was the first deck that I played when I got back into the game because it's so easy and so good for beginners. It's not very expensive as well. Some bits are, but a lot of the stuff has been reprinted now, so it is quite cheap. Some of the things like Golden Castle used to be the most expensive, but they're now like pretty cheap. So yeah, quite a cheap deck, very easy to begin things off with. Just basically try to break your opponent's board in OTK. Yeah, and I just mixed it with Kashtira and went for a really Banish heavy deck, and yeah, just did it to have a lot of fun. Okay guys, so starting things off with the monsters, just a small Gren Maju package. Just a 3 Gren Maju. Obviously, you do want to try and go first and then try and kill with Gren Maju on the follow-up. Really easy to do. And then for the other Gren Maju stuff, I just played 2 Eater of Millions. Eater of Millions actually works really well as well because you use this as your prosperity kind of. No, it doesn't let you draw cards, but you can banish 5 things from your extra deck, and then you can attach those things that you've banished with Eater of Millions to your Arise Heart with its effect. So that's why mostly I put Eater of Millions in there, and it is quite a nuisance to deal with because yeah, it just like your opponent has to deal with this, otherwise when they attack it you can just banish their card. So yeah, really good. So yeah, that's what I played for those. Then straight away into the Kashtira stuff. So I played obviously 3 Fenrir, and there's not many Kashtira monsters and not many of the really good ones. So obviously 3 Fenrir, really good. It's become like a staple in most decks now. I use it as a staple in a lot of decks now. Unfortunately, only 2 Unicorn. This was like all you needed to really get going. Fortunately, when I was at locals, I actually opened this like 90% of my games. So really good, really lucky. So this and obviously, yeah, Fenrir, if you don't know, adds they all special themselves, and then Fenrir can add a Kashtira monster from deck to hand, and Unicorn can add a Kashtira spell from deck to hand. Then I played 1 Ogre. Ogre again can special itself, and this one adds a Kashtira trap from deck to hand. I've got Scareclaw Kashtira. This one can attack while in defense position, which is quite nice. And then I played 1 Kashtira Rise Heart. This is just can be good if you already have Unicorn and Fenrir access, so then this can just be another one just to be able to just extend and combo a little bit further. Also gives you other plays where you can banish, when you summon this, you can banish a card from your deck, a Kashtira card from your deck, so you could banish things like you can banish one of these things like Big Bang that lets you add one of your Kashtira monsters attached to one of your XZs to your hand, or yeah, so pretty good. One of those. Then like this deck is kind of like, that's it for really all the monsters that are not like in archetype or the Gren Maju bits, and this is why I think this deck is still like quite competitively viable, because it has such a small engine. You can just go crazy on things. So we play 3 Dimensional Shifter. This card is really good, and you don't care if your stuff gets banished. 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs. It's just one of the few hand traps that you can still use if your graveyard is off limits. Playing 3 Book of Moon. This is just a good way to dodge things like Imperm and stuff like that. If you special your Unicorn and then they try to Imperm it or something like that, or your Kashtira, and then you can Book of Moon it, so you can still maybe get Birth, activate Birth, and then still summon and continue your plays that way. So Book of Moon is still really good that way. And then lastly, 3 Imperm. I chose Imperm just because, again, you can't use Veiler because that needs to go to graveyard, and obviously Imperm don't. And this also, I use this as a way, if someone puts a floodgate up, then I'll set that, and then on their turn, I'll try to turn that off. I'll back on my turn, sorry, I'll try to turn that floodgate off by flipping it. So yeah, all of those as my go second options. And then into our spells. So unfortunately, I only have 2 planet. But I did play the terraforming to make sure that we still got at least 3. It does play into draw if you have terraforming, but you gotta try and max out on this because this is just more consistency. I just had trouble trying to pick up a 3rd. Then only 2 Kashtira Theosis. This one is just target 1 Kashtira monster you control, special summon 1 Kashtira monster with a different attribute from your deck in defense division. So pretty good. And then obviously it locks you into XZs, but that don't really matter. So yeah, pretty good. This is all you need. If you get Unicorn add this, then you get special Fenrir, and then you can just play and just do some cool stuff. Then 3 Birth. This card is just actually really annoying for most decks, like especially for things like Branded, where they have a lot of spells. You're just gonna keep banishing their stuff from their graveyard. And although before Branded used to be able to like not really care about that too much, now with Quem, there is actually a big issue with stuff keep getting banished. So and obviously they can't activate their Mirror Jade as well if they can't use their grave. So yeah, 3 of those. It also lets you have obviously a normal summon of a level 7. Then I did play 2 Forbidden Lance just to try and protect my Arise Heart from things like Book of Moon, Imperm, just stuff to stop it, so this always online and it's just always troublesome for other people. Then 2 Pot of Desires. Obviously no Prosperity in this, just because obviously you can't Prosperity and then Desires. So yeah, just 2 Desires and that, and just, yeah, I always felt like it was enough. It was never really sad. 1 Called by the Grave. Obviously, if you don't open Shifter and you just want to play and someone tries to Veiler or Ash or Unicorn or something, then you can obviously just Called by it. Alright, there'll probably be like a little bump in the video there just because my missus returned home like a herd of elephants. So yeah, so 2-dimensional fissure. Like I said, I'm just going for a real big banish thing, so I just did this it's just irritating, isn't it? Just annoying for most decks to try and play through this. So yeah. And then I did play 1 Preparations. Again, this was just kind of like gimmicky and like fun. I just liked there you could look at your opponent's hand, and if you do banish 1 card from it face down, just thought that'd be quite funny, so that's why I played it. And then Big Bang is just like quite a staple in most Kashtira decks. Yeah, then on to the extra deck. So of course I played 1 Arise Heart and I played only the 2 Shangri-La. You should be winning really quite quickly with the way I've built this deck, so I don't think you need to play 3 of this. So yeah, just of those. Then I played 1 Dark Armed Dragon. It's quite again, that's another staple. 1 Draco Sack, again, that's another staple, just really good to like out people's stuff going second. Big Eye, again another staple, just really good to just take control of someone's monster. Red Eyes Flare Metal, just again, that it's actually a nice option to have, just to be able to make sure that if you can't quite game, you can just make one of these and then your opponent just can't play. 1 Gaia, just in case someone wanted to put something in defense or they brick or something like that, you just make this and attack, and then you can just Zeus, which came up a couple of times, which was quite nice, because obviously it does piercing damage as well. Then of course, as per, 2 Zeus, really nice to always have. I never needed the second one, but it was there just in case. And then the last few cards, I played 1 Baron. Obviously you can make this with like any of the Kashtiras, like a Unicorn or Fenrir and Ash Blossom. And go straight into this. My other 10 is this. I thought this would just be a really good, nice way to try and just punch and really go for game. And with Desires and Eater of Millions, you can just make this absolutely massive. So that's why I went for 1 Chenying as well. Then 1 Lin Karibo. No one really plays the Ibli lock at my locals, but it's in there just in case. You never know who's going to turn up. Then 1 Donna, again it's just another way to out stuff. And then 1 Fossil Machine Skull Wagon, just really good to try and pop some back row. So yeah, obviously this is what I would banish from Eater of Millions and then attach it to the Arise Heart. So yeah, really good like that. Probably should have played 1 Antis, but it never felt like it really came up very much anyways. Like Kashtira pass was usually always enough. So yeah, really happy with that. But yeah guys, that's the deck profile. Let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. Obviously, yeah, it's just a fun gimmicky deck. It's nothing amazing. Like I wouldn't expect it to win like a regional or something like that. But for just a local standard, I thought it was really fun. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, just loved it. But yeah, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.